Right, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I haven't been here for a while. Now what I'm going to do is tell you the bullet points first, because I know that I get told off for going on too long and burying stuff in all the waffle. So what I'm going to be talking about this video is, it's been a big week for me. I've been invited up to the Swift factory by the OG himself, Peter Smith, of Swift, to talk about things, and I'll tell you what I'm going to be talking about in a minute. And so what I want is for you to put in the comments what you want me to get across to the team up there. Now I can harvest all the comments that I've had before in the other videos that I've done, but it'd be great to have a fresh set. So if you could do that, but also if you could go to Reddit and join the Swift group Reddit on there that I've set up. I will put a link in the bottom there. That is a much better way of getting the message across. So I will talk about it if you want to stay around and listen to why I'm doing all this. That's great. But the bullet points are: I've been invited up to Swift and I'm going up this Friday, I believe, at the moment. And I want you to go to Reddit and join the group, which I'll put a link to in the description down below. So if that's all you're going to get out of this, that's basically it. Now I'm going to go into the long form and tell you exactly why this has happened, and a bit more about the Reddit thing as well, because it is really important. So there you go. So if you're disappearing, see you later. If not, sticking around, then thank you very much for that. So I've been off YouTube for a while, and I think I did this last year, actually, looking back. I think as it gets into winter and the caravans kind of slow down, I tend to shut down myself. I think I lost the flow a little bit as well, and I got into a little bit of a worries me, why bother, and all this kind of stuff. And I tend to do that in the winter just because that's the way things go. But a few things have happened in the last few weeks that have been really interesting, and it's kind of got me going a little bit more. And I have had quite a few messages and people actually tracking me down on the phone as well, and getting hold of me and saying that they like what I've been saying, and why am I not doing it anymore, and asking lots of questions and things, and I've been helping them out. So it's kind of got my mojo back a little bit, to tell you the complete truth, and this is why I'm doing this video, but also to get some I need something from you as well, which I'm going to be talking about. So I'm back on it, and it's because the caravan slowed down. I've kind of found myself with a bit of time on my hands. I've been getting into AI and large language models, and the way that things are changing, using those with search and things like that, and what that's going to mean to the caravan industry and to you. So if you don't use AI or ChatGPT or what's called large language models, I would recommend it. It's a different way of searching, and you get a much more precise answer rather than going to Google and searching. It's kind of like, you can use 3 words with Google to find what you want, and you'll get a list of kind of what they call blue tops, whereas sites you can then go on and then find out your information. If you go to ChatGPT or Perplexity or one of those other ones, and you can then type in something very specific. Now the prompt is normally about 60 words long, so you can kind of tell what you'll get from that, and then that returns you back a much better response. So if you say, for instance, you wanted to know, is there a caravan in the 20 to 26 range that is under 1400 kilograms and has got a fixed bed in it? Well, if you go to Google and type that in, you will get that now because of the AI there, but you won't get it from your traditional search. So it's again the large language models that are doing the heavy work now. But you wouldn't traditionally go to Google and ask that. You would say Swift caravans, and you go to the website, and then you have to look through the website and you have to find all the information yourself and kind of work it out. That's the difference. So the large language models now, which is embedded in Google actually, so if you did do that, you would get a better response. That's the way things are going. So I've kind of looked into this and thinking, well, is everyone set up for this change in the way that people are going to be searching or have started to search? And the answer is, well, apparently, no. So what I did was because caravans are ingrained into me, and it's my point of reference, I then wondered if the caravan industry was aware of what's going to change, and the search engine optimization and things are going to be different. And turns out that maybe they are aware of it, but not to the degree that I've looked into it at. So what I did is, again, because the way my brain works, when something's in there, I've got to get it out and then move on. Otherwise, it just rattles around and around and around. So what I did is I messaged Peter Smith, from Swift with, just to say, look, can I send you an email about this stuff, thinking that at the very least it would get it out, and then he could come back and say, no, we know about all that, thank you very much. And then that would be I'll be done then. I have to move on to something else. Now, the reason I messaged Peter was because that in October, Gary from Swift phoned me up to ask me to go up to the factory because of some of the videos that I had done on the Swift product, because apparently turns out that Peter and the team watched them, which made me cringe quite a bit, to be fair. But it's good because everything that I was saying was a reflection of what I feel, and I think what you feel as well. So none of it was untrue, but I think from their point of view, because they know what's going on and the changes that's been happening over the past 12 months or so up at Swift, they know that maybe what I said and what your perception is, more importantly, isn't actually what's going on at the factory. There's this disparity between what we think and what is actually going on. And that's what happened to me at Eldest as well. I don't know if you saw one of the Eldest kind of videos that I did, but I said fairly similar, that I was wondering that if Eldest were going under and all this kind of stuff, and turns out that it was completely the opposite. They were doing really well, but no one knew about it, or at least I didn't, and therefore I don't think you did, and judging by the comments, that's what I got the impression of. So again, it's kind of, I was just reflecting what you were saying, and then the manufacturer's going, oh no, that's not how it is, we're doing all this stuff, but no one knew about it. And I think because of that, I certainly had 3 or 4 people come up to me at the October show and say that they bought an Eldest on the back of what I'd said. Hopefully not going to punch me in the nose on the next time I see them, but yeah, I do stand behind it. And I think that's where Swift are coming from as well, is that they have changed what's going on. We've got the change of people up there. And then I started thinking about it, and well, actually, back in the good old days when we all hark back to, it was more customer focused. There was more of a direct feed from the customer to the manufacturer and to the design team and stuff. And I think, through the last maybe 7 to 10 years, that's diluted somewhat. I know we're in a different world. I know the Caravans can't go back to how they were with the simplistic way of doing things. So that's not what can happen, but the ethos can go back to that. So the more customer focused. I did actually get an email from Peter saying that now he's in charge, the customer is king, and really, I mean, that is exactly what I've been trying to say for the past X amount of videos, is that the trust has gone. That's what I've been seeing in the comments, and that is something that I think needs to get back into the industry again, and with to cross-reference to the large language models and the way people are searching. And this is why it kind of struck a chord with me, was that the way they look at things, it's not to do with keywords and just the amount of content out there. It's not the amount of stuff that you throw at it. It's the quality of the stuff that you give it. So that's the difference between search engine optimization and what's called AEO, which is answer engine optimization. That's the difference, is that the LLMs will go in somewhere and they're not interested in how much stuff you throw at it. So you can't have 100,000 keywords now that you put into a blog post and it goes, oh, this is kind of what he wants to talk about. So I'll chuck that at them. The LLM will go in and go, right, this is what they're asking for. What is the quality of that response? Not just throw it back at them and look, this is what I found. It's to me, it's a lot more grown up. And that's why this overlaps with what I've been saying with the building of the trust with the manufacturers. And now the way that this AI is searching, they're going to have to change the way that they do things, and I think that's really important for us to kind of to get across, and that's what they're noticing as well. On the back of that as well, I've been doing lots of research, and the thing that's been coming up is that the manufacturers have to make the quality of the content more kind of neutral and not salesy, because that's the one thing that the LLMs will find, is that if if it's sales content, they don't see it as being value because it's hidden behind a kind of an agenda. So the content that has to go onto the websites and things has to be more neutral, and it has to be balanced and non-biased, and that's what's going to happen with the LLM searches, is that they're going to find content that is valuable to the end user. They don't want to throw stuff back at the end user that isn't relevant. It has to be relevant, and it has to be cited by other places as well. So it's no good just coming from Swift itself or ever manufacturer or whatever it is. That's no good. It has to then be referenced by Practical Caravan, Reddit, which I'll talk about in a second, YouTube, and it isn't. It's not just throwing you back. It's not just throwing back at you, a kind of a glossy, corporate-driven message from a manufacturer. It's throwing back at you. Look, this is what's going on. So I'm not going to lie to you. This is what's going on, and that's where Reddit comes in. Now, I never really heard of it before. I didn't really kind of know what it was, but everyone that I've seen on YouTube and all the blogs and everything I've read hundreds of them over the last month or so, they all talk about Reddit. So I went on there to see if there was a community on there with caravans, and there's nothing. There's a few that tried to get going, but nothing happened. So I started one up called Swift Caravan Group. I call it caravans because caravans are in my head. It is more to do with everything. So motorhomes, camper vans, and holiday homes as well. I'd like it to kind of then split off into its different genres. But what I need you to do, it's great if you can comment on here of what what you want me to say to Swift. I think I know anyway, but it'd be interesting for you to just jot down what you want. It'd be great on the comments here. The problem is with this medium and with Facebook as well is you put a comment on and then it gets buried and then it's lost forever, and it you lose the thread. So it's only the first few comments that you actually see because you get fed up with scrolling down. So there can be some really great stuff down in the bottom, but it doesn't get viewed at the top. And that's where Reddit is different, because the large language models actually reference it pretty much all the time. Then if you then put an answer in or a question in there and it gets answered by more of the community, then it will come up on the large language models as well. So what I'm trying to do is get that community going. I'd love to have 500 people in there by the time I go up to Friday, on Friday, with a load of questions and answers. Even if it's just people saying hello, this is what I've got, that would be great. So I'm going to put a link in the bottom of the description to Reddit. If you can go and join that group and just say hello, and then we can start the conversation going, that would be great. So there we have it. Hopefully I didn't go on too much. Just to recap, going up to Swift hopefully this Friday, so it'd be great if I could get some feedback from you as to your issues or what you want me to probably pass over. I think I know what they're going to be, and I think Swift probably know what they're going to be anyway, but it'd be just good to refresh it. But if you could do that, if you don't want to join the Reddit thing, do that here. That's great, not a problem at all. But I think if we can build that Reddit community up, it will be much more valuable, because if you have an issue with something or other, you can then type it in there, and that thread will come up. So all the information, all the stuff that's been said about that topic will be there, and you can add to it, or you can use it as a reference, whereas you can't do that with YouTube, and you can't do it with Facebook. You go on to Facebook and they said you put something up there and you might get a little bit of a thread with people replying, but then once it's gone kind of thing. It's not so easy to do. But with the Reddit community, it's geared up so that you can't be a manufacturer that goes on there to promote your stuff. That's not how it is. You get what's called flamed, apparently, and the Reddit people will see it and it gets downvoted. And if you get downvoted, then you kind of get kicked off. So we're up for upvoted. So it's geared towards community, people helping each other. You don't get any of that hate speech, or it's not like it's a good place for you to be able to go on there and give us your opinions and your thoughts and get answers to the questions you've got. And if this works in the way I hope it's going to work, it will be monitored by people that are the people that you want to hear your comments on. It's not just going into a Facebook group where there's a small circle of people who are in that group are going to hear it. That doesn't get monitored by the manufacturers, as far as I'm aware. YouTube kind of does, but it's on a non-commercial kind of basis. So just people who are interested in looking there. I think if we can set this Reddit group up, that's where the majority of your voices will be heard. There's only me and a couple of others on there at the moment. So if we could get 500 people on there, it'd be fantastic. And if we can build that community, it'd be really good. Then we'll know what kind of questions and what kind of things are being asked and the issues that are coming up, they'll know instantly because we can track it straight away. And that's what that's what the LLMs use. And so you'll actually be helping more people in the broader thing. So like I said, with Facebook, you get a circle like that with people looking at Facebook. The more people that start using ChatGPT, if you're putting into Reddit, you will be helping the whole community worldwide. You know, that's the difference between using Reddit and using something like Facebook or something like that. So join that group. I really hope we can get that going. That'd be fantastic. So like and subscribe. If I do end up going to the factory, which looks like it is going to be happening hopefully this week, I will do a video when I get back and report back and let you know what we were talking about. I don't really know what we're talking about when I go up there, and I'm a bit nervous but excited about it at the same time. Could go several different ways, but the very fact that someone like me is being asked to contribute to something like that I think it's quite a big thing. So let me know what you think anyway. That'd be great. So like, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff, and I'll see you on the other side of the factory visit hopefully next week.